What I've got here is a hydrophone. This can listen to sounds, very low frequency sounds for baleen whales, as well as the high frequency sounds up to harbour porpoises that vocalise much above our hearing, about 140 to 150 kilohertz. I don't expect to hear them in Plymouth Sound, but you never know. What I might hear is lots of noise from all of these boats, and maybe some fish sounds, which would be quite cool, and maybe some snapping shrimp. So I'm just going to lower it. I've just got a weight on it to take it down because the cable's quite buoyant. This is the actual hydrophone itself. It's just an underwater microphone. I'll just lower it down. Now I'll have a listen. There's a lot of boat noise, understandably in a harbour. I've been very excited about working with autonomous vessels for quite a long time because they can access parts of the ocean that we just can't get to very easily without sending out a big boat with lots of people that need feeding and watering and keeping happy. Whereas we can send out an autonomous boat and survey much wider areas over longer periods of time to give us data about where whales and dolphins are in the ocean. We just don't know enough about what is in most of our seas. I'll do surveys along the coast to look at where we find whales and dolphins along our coast. Doing offshore surveys into much deeper water or further offshore is much more of a logistical challenge, and you can't do it that often, and it costs a lot of money. Whereas an autonomous boat, we can send the ship out, we can survey over very large areas over long periods of time, and it gives us data that we just don't know anything about whales and dolphins out there. We've got a surface understanding from sporadic boats going out and collecting data, but we just don't know mostly where the whales and dolphins are out there or how many there are. Some of the work I've been doing is on marine noise, so understanding how much noise there is in the marine environment. So for example, there's a lot of ships out there. Most of our food, for example, is transported by ship. Ships moving through the marine ocean, in the ocean, produce a lot of noise, quite low frequency. This travels over very large distances, and there's increasing evidence that it has negative impacts on marine life. So for example, making whales more stressed, scaring animals away. So by doing some of these types of surveys and also measuring marine noise, then we can understand where they are and estimate what the impacts are. We can even measure that as well if we're measuring noise at the same time. And then we can manage that. For example, one of the easy ways of reducing the amount of noise produced by ships in the marine environment is by slowing ships down. So in some places, for example, where there's right whales, they've slowed ships down to reduce the amount of noise in the marine environment and reduce the impacts on marine animals in critical areas. This should give us a lot more information than we've currently got. I've done boat surveys off Scotland and in the Celtic Sea, as well as I've got a moored hydrophone out in Plymouth to listen to whatever's out there in Plymouth Sound, but also noise levels. That's part of the UK Marine Noise Monitoring Network run by CFAS. And by getting more information, we get more information about what's out there and noise levels to allow us to manage those populations better.